Hi, I'm Brian Dunn, and welcome to the most important podcast ever. What makes it so important? It's not about me, it's about you. This podcast is about ordinary people doing extraordinary things, the moments of resilience, the lessons learned, and the small acts that made a big difference. From retail floors to boardrooms, we'll share the untold stories that shape lives and careers. This week, our guest is me. We're catching up on your DMs, your text messages in some cases, emails, and we're going to do a good old-fashioned Q&A, sort of a virtual town hall. And you know, I love a town hall. And our friend Sean Duzing and our producer, Sean, has agreed to help out and is going to read me your questions, and then I will do my very best to give you a quality answer. Sean, how you doing?
I'm doing great, Brian. Thanks for having me on tonight.
Thank you for doing it, man. Appreciate you.
Happy to help out. So this first group of questions is from some of the recent episodes. You often say that there's no such thing as an ordinary life. What's a moment from a recent guest that really reinforced that for you?
You know, Sean, honestly, it happens almost every single episode. Every single episode, somebody triggers that. There are these moments where somebody says something so simple and it carries so much weight, and it just gets my brain thinking, and you realize it's not a highlight reel. This is someone's real life. The struggles, the pivots, the doubts. That's where the extraordinary actually lives, in the beautiful simplicity of our day-to-day lives. Not in perfection, but perseverance.
Yeah, in the real emotion
that
comes out of it. All right, second question. From your conversation with Dana Peterson, what surprised you most about building something from scratch on TikTok?
I have known Dana a long time, and I was blown away that she had this idea. You know, I'm at home, I'm a mom, I've got a couple of little kids. And Dana took her phone and built this business in the TikTok shop. And before she knew it, it went viral. All, as she told it, from a trip to a Sam's Club. And it just blew me away that it's all right out there and it can be accessed. And it really hit me with this thought that we're actually entering the golden age of the individual entrepreneur. And I think Dana's a great example of it.
Yeah, she made it look so easy.
Oh, she does. And you know why? You know why it looks so easy when Dana does it? Because she's authentically being herself.
Right.
And she's talking about what she cares about. And she told us on the episode, I won't promote anything I don't like. And I've always got to be true to myself. I mean, how great is that?
All right, next question. Seamus Harvey talks about corporate BS going viral. Why do you think that message resonated so widely?
First of all, it about knocked me over because I recognize so much of it in an unflattering way. I use those expressions, and I sat in so many meetings over the years with those phrases that BS bingo is just batted around, and it becomes embedded and really gets in the way. And I think it hit the audience so hard because people feel it, people recognize it, and they don't always get to say it out loud, but they feel it. And Seamus is saying it out loud, and he's giving language to something people experience every day. And when someone puts words to what you're thinking, that's powerful.
You know,
really
that's
powerful.
where raw humor comes from too.
Yeah.
Just looking at yourself being able to laugh at
Yeah,
yourself.
and I think that's why Seamus has had such amazing success in going viral with this work. I think it's great.
All right, next question. What's one leadership lesson from your recent guests that you've personally started to apply?
At some level, every one of our guests just start. They don't wait for it to be perfect. They just jump in. Let's go. Before they're ready, before it's perfect. And it really has refreshed my already super high enthusiasm about building this platform with you guys. And it's so important to just keep pushing that accelerator down. I had a boss, Mike Keski, who I'm hoping to get on an episode here. And Mike used to always say to us, when things are going well, it's human nature to relax. And what you need to do is slam the accelerator down. And our platform's growing and it's growing fast and we're getting lots of views. And I'm so grateful for that. But the leadership reminder for me is put that accelerator down.
Yeah. And when you're being real, it's never perfect.
Ever.
Yeah.
Ever. And if you wait for the perfect moment in life, you'll spend your whole life waiting for a moment that never manifests.
You know, you've had several guests talk about reinvention. What's the hardest part of starting over?
I think the hardest part of starting over is always looking in the mirror and saying, what is my role in having to start over? And what do I need to do better? And what am I good at? What am I not good at? I always think that moment of self-reflection and not letting it paralyze you, because I've known plenty of people that paralyzes them. You've got to turn that into action. And again, it is go, go, go.
Yeah, there can be pain and fear.
Oh, yeah.
And without pain or fear, there's no growth.
Yeah. I mean, I'm super comfortable pointing out what you and Thomas don't do great behind the scenes in the studio.
It happens.
Let's not talk about me, because obviously I'm nailing it. I mean, it's human nature to not want to do that. And I think that's where invariably growth comes from.
Yeah. The next question from the Michael Much episodes. What stood out to you most about living a full and varied life?
I am still reflecting on our episodes with Michael. They blew me away, to be honest with you, how the various facets of his life that textured. And Michael and I have been going back and forth with some direct messages and some texts talking about rock and roll memories and concert memories. And Michael is somebody that I'm sure a lot of people just walk by in gyms or on the street where they see him. And here is this man with a treasure chest full of memories about things that cultural trends, about historical trends, things that have shaped this company since the 60s. And he's so articulate about it. And so he really blew me away. And in fact, I'm trying to get him up here. We're going to go take some pictures of eagles. I'd like to spend more time with Michael.
Yeah, I felt the same way on those episodes too. He doesn't put a lot of stock in trying to impress by his how he looks, and when he starts with the stories and the experiences that he's had, and the knowledge that he has, it's like, my gosh, it blew me away.
Let me be clear, Michael, if you're listening, I think you look great. I guess Sean, but I think what Michael is really focused on, the stuff that really matters to him.
Yeah.
And I think it comes across beautifully. And there's definitely leadership lessons in how Michael walks this earth.
All right, next question. You've talked with builders, creators, leaders. What separates people who actually do it from those who don't?
And I kind of touched on this a minute ago. It's the people that actually roll up their sleeves and just jump in and are willing to have it be messy and to sort of learn their way through it. That's what I hope we're doing here. We're learning our way through this. And I think that is the biggest divider. Jump in, do it, go for it. And I think you can always find reasons why not, why to not do something. And I think the big separator is people that jump in and do it. It's a willingness of the spirit. It's a willingness to dive in and say, we're going to learn our way through this, but let's go.
Even when things don't always go perfectly, and they certainly don't.
No.
You're right back in there going again.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
What's a moment in the last 10 to 12 episodes where you were personally caught off guard or moved?
I don't want to be a broken record, but it happens just about every episode. Something catches me and I'm just like, wow. And Karen was our first episode as we got into 2026. She came back after completing her last set of marathons. She's probably completed 15 more since we heard from her. That really blew me away. Michael, as I mentioned, that episode and all the various chapters he's had in his life, any one of those chapters would be like, well, that's a great story, but it's story after story after story. And I could pull something out from every episode. What really gets me is how beautifully these people tell their stories.
Yeah, right from the soul.
Yep, 100%.
What it is. From your recent conversations, what does great leadership look like today versus 10 to 15 years ago?
I think the basic principles are the same or similar. I think it's all about being real and genuine and connected to where your business is actually touching customers, whatever your business is, and being connected to the employees who are connected to your customers directly. I think that's critically important. I also think, and Seamus really points this out beautifully, we've gotten so used to having these empty phrases that don't really mean anything and pass for direction or leadership. And I think what's at a premium today is real and authentic connection. Be who you are. Be who you are.
I agree. I think, and that's just starting to catch on, I think, where it's more about customer connection than customer service.
Yeah, I think that's right. And I think it's customer connection, but I also think it's employee connection. We as people have so many choices today about what our business is going to be. In fact, I think we're just starting to understand, like we talked about Dana starting up her TikTok shop with her phone. I remember I asked her, how many people are helping you with this? And she said, it's just me and my phone. And she's got a very successful business. And so the barriers to entry are so reduced that you really have to be authentically connected. I always have to check myself to make sure it's not a BS bingo statement, but I really mean it. You have to be connected in a real way with your employees and what they want. And that's even at more of a premium today with these relaxed barriers of entry.
Yeah, 100%. If you could pull one theme from your last dozen episodes, what would that be?
I have to say, and it's going to be redundant because it's basically a common thread through the whole series we've done. We're approaching 60 episodes now. Haven't missed a week. Super proud of that. And every story has things that can be pulled out of it. And I think the magnificence of these people, and it's not just these people, it's all people. Everybody has their story. And I think what we as a society have gotten very derelict in our responsibility to reach out and connect with each other and to take time to understand each other's stories, because I think there are lessons I can learn from your story, you can learn from my story. And I think the more we do that, the less we're doomed to repeat bad paths.
I think this came out in one of the episodes, and I don't remember which one. There are no ordinary people.
There aren't. I mean, that was the hypothesis of this whole thing, that ordinary people doing extraordinary things. The sentence that's not in there is that it really proves there's no such thing as an ordinary person. There's not.
That's great. All right, the next set of questions are about the podcast itself. How do you choose your guests, and what makes someone a perfect fit for this podcast?
It's actually really simple, Sean. I'm looking for a story. I could be in a coffee shop. I could be in a restaurant. It drives my kids crazy. I start talking to a waitress or a waiter, and all of a sudden I'm thinking, boy, that might be really interesting. I'll tell you a real story. I was getting my oil changed and my tires rotated on my truck, and I heard two guys in the waiting room, two vets, talking about Vietnam and their experiences there. Next thing I knew, I sat down and I was sitting with them, and I invited one of them, and he's going to be a guest in June to talk about his experiences. My point in this is, I'm not looking for a title or a resume or anything that is seemingly extraordinary or famous. I'm looking for someone who's lived something, who's learned something, and is willing to share it in a way that it can help someone else.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's it.
So do you prepare heavily for interviews, or do you prefer to let the conversation unfold naturally?
That's a really good question. I do a lot of homework. That's one of the surprises of this thing for me. There's a lot of hours not on camera where I'm reading guest books, or I'm doing research on guests, or I'm reading articles about guests, or I'm just digging into their social media profiles so I can sort of learn who they are. And then I do a call with them the week of the show, just so we can walk through logistics and give them comfort with the flow. And it's good to get a little bit comfortable with each other. But I am that's been one of the biggest surprises for me, and it's definitely been more than I thought. I love it, but it's turned into close to a 40-hour-a-week job for me.
Yeah. One of the things that we notice, it's difficult to get the depth of a person's story or stories in 30 minutes.
Oh,
You know, a couple of episodes have gone to
yeah.
2 episodes,
Yep.
but it's a challenge every week.
It really is. And just so our audience knows, 30 minutes is really kind of the sweet spot, because I think it's harder to hold an audience for longer than that, and people lose interest, and people are busy, and how many million podcasts are out there. So we really work diligently to keep them 30-ish. But it is tough to do, because you get into a vein, or somebody's pouring their heart out. You can't, I'm not going to shut them down in the middle of pouring their heart out. Reverend Dan Renfro from last season comes to mind. I listened to Dan for 50 minutes, and I think that was our first two-parter. And it was great. I wouldn't have changed a thing, although the Rev has become one of our most faithful followers and listeners, and we're grateful to him.
What's something that's been harder than you expected about doing this podcast?
I think the level of discipline, I think showing up every week, being prepared, being present and connected with the guest. You can't phone that in because these wonderful men and women are sharing, you know, intimate, personal details about their lives, and it's so compelling. Um, and that's really, um, I owe that to our guests. And it's when I go home on Thursday, we record on Thursday nights, and we usually record a couple episodes. I don't know about you guys. I'm always tired. I sleep well on Thursday nights because it takes a lot out.
What's been more rewarding than you expected?
The messages from people that they'll say, boy, that one really hit me. Or they'll say, I really needed that messaging today. And that's when you realize it's not just content, it's connection. We're making a connection here. And that really, I remember talking to you and Thomas and the whole team here before we even started, that I wanted to build this platform for connectivity. And it's been so rewarding when in those moments where it just comes together, or somebody sends me a note and says, boy, that really hit me.
Maybe it's something about being, right there live while it's happening. But I feel that emotional connection to the stories, to the people,
Yeah.
wherever they are on the other side of the country, or
Oh, yeah.
wherever it is. But you could just feel the emotion and the connection in it. And that's something listening to podcasts before, never really got that.
I'll tell you, so I'll share something with the audience. It's quite common for one or more of the three of us to have a tear in our eyes at the end of an episode. I mean, we feel your stories, and we are so honored and grateful that you trust us with them.
I agree. Has doing this podcast changed how you see people or leadership?
It has. It has moved me to action. I'm back actively looking for connection with people. I'm looking for their stories. And for a while, I was atrophied. And now I'm out there and I can feel it. I am connecting with people more readily and more purposefully because I just think it's so important. I really feel like we're on a mission here. And gosh, I love a mission. I love a mission. And so it has reignited me in ways, and it drives me for more connection with more people.
It's something bigger than yourself.
Oh,
it's
for sure. For sure. And that's what sustains me through it. I mean, and if I sound like I'm whining, please, I'm not. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of hard work, and we're scaling this from the ground up. So no admin staff, I've got some wonderful people, Sean and Thomas, Angelica, Martha helps us with some graphics. And I'm blessed by that. Couldn't do it without them, but you wouldn't do this if you weren't on the mission.
So get into a few of them more on the personal side.
Oh, okay.
Did you go anywhere for spring break this year?
I went to, good question. I went to San Diego. My niece got married, and it was beautiful, and it was lovely to spend some time 75 degrees and with people I love. It was great. Really great.
Somebody asked, do you like spring, or are you more of a summer guy?
I love summer, and I have a love-hate relationship with spring. Okay. I hate mud season, and let me tell you why. Those of you that know me will already know this. I'm a dog guy. I got a golden retriever who's going to be 9, Cooper. I got a Newfie who is 14 months, 15 months now, I guess. And I hate mud season because, man, they will drag in mud and it's unpleasant. But I love spring because it means summer's coming right around the corner. And I love, love, love summer.
Yeah. What are you most excited about coming up in the next few months?
Oh my gosh. Well, summer means the guys will be coming up with their girls for some weekends. I always love that. I'm super excited about the NBA playoffs, and I'm expecting to have a super good golf season this year, which I've only said every year. And my eldest son, BJ, and his fiancee, Emily, and my youngest son, Joseph, and his fiancee, Abby, are getting married at the end of this summer, and I'm super excited about that.
So I'm not sure if this question is a segue about your golf game, but what does a perfect day look for you right now?
Well, they have many, many different looks. Like Thursdays are busy days. I typically drive up to Alex Thursday morning and do my last minute prep for the episodes, which we record on Thursday night. And I always have a huge sense of satisfaction when I'm driving away from the studio. I love spending time with you guys. I love a day on the golf course, and I love watching my son Will coach with the Houston Rockets. And the playoffs are here, so it's a real good time of year for me right now.
Awesome. So what are you reading, listening to, or watching these days?
Oh, let's see. I love episodic television. I think it's the golden age of episodic television right now. I really, really like the show The Pit about an emergency room in Pittsburgh. Like that show a lot. I'm watching that. I enjoyed Shrinking, which is a comedy on Apple TV, which I've enjoyed. And I am reading a Teddy Roosevelt biography right now, and I love me some Teddy. So I'm enjoying that quite a bit.
Yes. So these last set of questions are more from a reflective
Okay.
perspective. What have you learned recently about navigating tough moments?
I've had a big aha about this, and I didn't have the words for it before we've gotten sort of deep into this. You don't go around tough moments. You go through them. Winston Churchill, I'm a big fan of Winston's. An odd cat, but the right leader at the right time. And he said, when you find yourself in hell, this was during World War II, keep going. March through it. And you go through those tough times. I've also learned a lot and talked to a lot of our guests on camera and off, sharing grief stories. And you don't get past grief. You move forward and you bring it with you. And it's such a Hallmark card sort of flip little, but it's so, so true. It's so true. And those, I've been thinking a lot about my late wife. I've got a couple of weddings coming up. My niece's wedding that I just mentioned. Those are hard moments because there's somebody missing who should be here. Now, my faith, I believe she is there watching us from a different realm, but it is, you got to march forward. That's the big piece of learning for me.
What's something you believe more strongly today than you did a year ago?
The majesty and power of these stories. I knew a lot of the stories were good. And now that our reach has broadened a little bit on the podcast, please hit subscribe. We got to keep working, folks. Do your part. But now as we're having people that I am just meeting, that I've read their books or they've been brought to my attention by third parties, all the stories are powerful. And a year ago, I knew some really powerful stories. The stories are all around us. All we got to do is open our eyes and look.
What's something that you've changed your mind about?
Oh boy. There is a lot. I thought I'd be really good at this by a year. And I am still, every day I'm amazed by how much I have yet to learn. And I'm learning every day, and I love that. I've changed my mind, and this is kind of the big thing for me. I went through a period where I thought people that believed different things were not right-minded, not thinking clearly. And I realized how similar we all are, as opposed to these differences that like to get exploited. We all basically, we want to take care of the people we love, want to have a roof over our heads, want to have enough to eat, and want to leave this place better than we found it. Now, we disagree sometimes on how to go about that, but that has been so well ingrained in me over the course of this last year. And I'll tell you what else. We're all on a mission here. And it is so energizing to have a mission again. And that's been so powerful for me. Everybody needs a mission.
Yeah, so true. So, what does gratitude with purpose mean to you right now?
That's great, because one of the things I like to sign all my letters, all my posts with grateful heart, hashtag grateful heart. But just feeling grateful isn't enough. And when I was very, very deep in grief, that was my anchor. Grateful heart, grateful heart. Starting the morning thinking, what are 3 things I'm grateful for today? And it's not enough anymore just to feel grateful. You got to do something with that gratitude. You got to show up differently. You got to be looking for places to improve somebody's day. You got to be looking for ways to help people. You got to be looking for ways to connect. That's what we're called to do with our gratitude. And when gratitude turns to action, that's when it really starts to matter. That's when it really moves the ball.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking too. It takes the action piece.
It does.
Otherwise, you didn't hit it.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
All right, last question on the list. If someone is feeling stuck or uncertain, what would you say to them?
I would say this. Take one step today. Take one step today, not 10. You don't got to do the whole plan. Don't wait for it to be perfect, but jump in. Start today. And I think that is so overwhelming. So a lot of people are stuck because it can seem so overwhelming. It can seem so overwhelming. Take one step today. Start moving. It's just like what we talked about at the beginning with this podcast. If I had waited till we were perfect, if we had waited till we were perfect, I'd still be thinking, boy, I'd love to do a podcast.
Yeah.
Right?
Still working on episode 1.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I want to thank you, Sean, for the questions, for reading the questions. I want to thank all of you for the questions. Those all came, in many cases, they're aggregates of DMs you've sent, text messages, comments, emails, and I'm so grateful to you all for taking the time to do that. I like to do these episodes 3 times a year just so I can let you know all at once that I'm hearing what you have to say and I care. And I told you at the very beginning, episode 1, I want you to help steer this. I want to build this platform so we are all connected to it. Everybody who wants to be has a place on this platform. Momentum starts small and builds, and it can build like a tidal wave. I really do appreciate the questions because they remind me it's a conversation. And if there's one thing that these conversations keep reinforcing, is that there's no such thing as an ordinary person or an ordinary life. There are stories worth telling. Your stories are worth telling, and the lessons are worth sharing. And for those of you that might be out there feeling down, feeling hopeless, you are not alone. There are people all around you. Reach out. I want to thank the crew at Streetside Studio 7. I want to thank Sean and Thomas and Angelica for all the work they do helping with this podcast. I want to thank our host, Deja Blue House of Coffee, for hosting us and for caring about us and being on the mission with us and for making the best cup of coffee this side of the Mississippi, in my view. And I want to also say that thank you to all of you. This show is done for you, and we care what you think. And I want to thank all our wonderful guests for sharing their stories with us. And I'll look forward to seeing you all next week.